right? And I'm not going to cry, but maybe I am going to cry. I'm going to let it come.
Okay, we're going to have some tissues.
Because
somewhere.
I think it speaks to the point that on this continent, you all really have no idea what we went through when we left on those ships. Because everything you see that we have now was not given to us. Oh, we had to fight. We lost our lives. It was years, hundreds of years of fighting for what you see us have right now.
What's up, ladies and gentlemen? It's your man, Tim Swain. I'm so excited about this conversation I'm having today. I'm talking with black women from the diaspora, and we gonna keep it absolutely 100. Ladies, thank you so much for taking the time to be with me today. I'm really excited about the conversation we're going to have. We talked a little bit off camera, but now we're bringing it on camera. So the first thing I need us to do is just tell us your name, where you're from, and then how long you've been in Ghana. Let's start from right here.
All right. Hey, Tim. Hey, everybody. I'm Karen Johnson. Most people call me KJ, and I'm from Los Angeles, California, by way of a lot of different mixed identities and cultures. So my mother is from the South, my father is from the Caribbean, and I grew up around and raised with a lot of Afro-Colombians. So I feel like I represent the diaspora in a lot of different ways. Always been a very progressive and pro-Black person. So my Pan-African identity has taken me on a journey that I felt could only be expressed living in Ghana. So I came here in 2016, first trip to the continent. Went to South Africa as well. At this point, have been in Nigeria, Morocco, Kenya. It's like a big adventure for me in this period of my life. But being based here, having been based here, coming back and forth since 2016, and then living here since 2020.
Wow. Okay, so permanently living here for just about a year.
Yeah.
All right, fantastic.
Yeah.
Okay, so my name is Fatia Do. I'm from the Volta region of Ghana. I've lived in Ghana my whole life, so I've traveled to every region in Ghana, so I'm Ghanaian, so you can ask me anything in Ghana. Yeah,
right.
so yeah.
Ghanaian.
Ghanaian,
Fantastic. We're going to come back to that.
Right.
Hi, everybody. My name is Taliba Akil. I am born in Harlem, New York.
Hey.
I know. Come on.
Hey.
And I have been traveling back and forth to Ghana since 2018, and I made the move in December of 2020.
Wow.
So I've been here almost a year now.
So one of the reasons we wanted to have this conversation today is because I've talked to a lot of different people in Ghana, but I realized that I've never sat down with a group of women, particularly women of African descent from the diaspora, to have a conversation where you get the person that has come from abroad, and then you also get the indigenous perspective. So the first thing I want to do is I want to talk about, prior to coming to Ghana, what was your perception about the continent?
Are you asking anyone in particular?
Anyone can answer this question.
I grew up in a household. Harlem, I feel like, is like Wakanda #2, right? Like, I feel like I grew up in a household that was very intentional about teaching African culture. I took African dance classes at a young age. So my perception, right, of the continent was more so of its beauty, of its diversity. I have beautiful images and representations of the continent. So I was always excited at one point in my life to come to the continent, right? So I've lived, similar to you, Karen, I lived in Zimbabwe, Rwanda, South Africa, now Ghana. And so each place very different, right? So I've always had beautiful examples of what the continent is, you know, which is a privilege because not everyone has that, to be honest, right? In the States, we're undoing all the things that were taught to us negative about what this place is and who we are. So I consider that a privilege to say that.
It is, because I thought it was flies and you know what I'm saying, poverty.
Yeah,
and
for sure. And
facts.
yeah.
You did the commercial with the person singing, "For 1 cent a day, you can change your life." That's what I thought, but I mean, that's just me.
I sort of had mixed reviews. I certainly echo Taliba's point. Like, my household was very pro-Black, and I think you cannot express a pro-Black identity and have, like, disrespect to your motherland. So, like, we had a reverence for Africa and its culture, its people, and its diversity. I definitely knew that it wasn't just, these images and, dare I say, like, an agenda to push a poverty state on what is actually not that way at all. But my mixed review, I would say twofold. The first is that I look Ethiopian, and so people always assume that I'm Ethiopian.
Yeah, you do.
And one of the things, and I even have an Ethiopian name, right? Keren, and I remember meeting Ethiopians and feeling like, as soon as they found out that I wasn't Ethiopian, and in fact I'm like, quote unquote, regular Black, like this whole like disgust. You know what I mean? Like, you have no culture. You're not one of us, and it was off-putting because you're like, 1 minute ago we was cool, like 1 minute ago I look like you, I talk like you, you think I'm like you, so I'm thinking this is where we connect, because I've been searching for this brotherhood and sisterhood and unity one to another as an African. Then I meet Africans that I actually look like, and they're like, you're beans, and that attitude, it was hard to overcome. So that was part of my mixed reviews. And then going to college and meeting Africans from other places, just like the way in which you were like, because the truth is, because we've been taught a certain thing, and that certain thing was incorrect, but you've been taught a certain thing, and then you come to find out, like, these are just the most civilized, intellectual, and incredible minds that you'll ever meet. So here you are, and you're in college now, and you're like first generation college on financial aid, and somebody's like, I have a compound, my dad's a doctor, like, I have a driver, like, and you're just like, okay, so these are the mixed reviews, if we're keeping it 100, right? I wouldn't say that I had negative perspective, but I just had a very othering perspective, like, wow, we're not like each other, and I really want to be like you. And not just like you in terms of culture, but like you in terms of...
That's fine.
I knew it was going to come out.
You straight.
Are we going there?
Go there.
Okay. We as African Americans or Afro-Caribbeans have longed and been in constant search of this identity. And then you meet someone who can validate it for you. And instead of validating it, they go back to where you came from with your pull up your pants and stop,
So let's talk about that a little bit deeper, because, first, there's a quote that comes to mind by Kwame Nkrumah that says that I am not African because I was born in Africa. I'm African because Africa was born in me. Now, when you're from the diaspora, you're seeking and longing for that connection. But let's say you come to a place like Ghana, and it's not like that. So Fatia, let me bring you in right now, where we have this perspective, like, as you heard, this, like, Africa, we're coming back home and stuff. But then we come to Ghana, and we have this different experience. So then your perception about America, your perception about African Americans, talk to us more about what that is.
This is how we see the African Americans. We see them as, people who have all those opportunities, those people who have all the money in the world, like they have the gold, we see, growing up, you see, when you hear of African Americans or people living in America, you think that they just work on gold. They don't even have to do a lot like we do here, because it's a lot more when you are here. And so when we see you all come here, even for myself growing up, what we say is money. Like, these people are the people of opportunity. These people are the people who can give us something. Even growing up, this is not a place that you stay. This is a place you grow up and then you leave and go and make better opportunities outside. And that better opportunity is America. So we see, so when you are coming here, well, my perception has changed as I'm growing up, But before, what I would think is, these people coming here, these are the people of opportunity. Yeah, so this is how I saw it from the beginning. But you grow up, your perceptions change. So yeah, so I know these are people who also have to live normal lives like me. These are people who have wisdom, who have knowledge just like me. These are people I can be. These are people, these are my people, right? So yeah, so my perception has changed. This is how I see African Americans now.
Wow.
Right.
So then how do you process that? Let's say coming from the diaspora, where and Fatia gave a very nice explanation. But when you come to Ghana, it's rude. It hits you in your face. It's Obruni. I'm going to chop your money. Like it's like this is the mature way of saying it. But it hits you really hard when you get here. Yeah. So for a person that's kind of like longing for that connection, and you come here and it's like, Jolly, you don't even know your hometown. So like, what does that do to you? Like for real. What happens in your soul when someone tells you, pull up your pants and whatever, go back to where you come from?
Oh, it's painful. It's definitely painful. But I think it reminds me the danger of a single story, right? Like Chimamanda Adichie, right? Where you were speaking to Karen, we were told one story about each other, right? Which was very intentional. It was to keep us separate, right? We talk about slavery and colonialism and that it was past. It's not past. It's very much active and present, right? And so we have a single story narrative that was intentionally told about us. And on the continent, not just in Ghana, there's a single story narrative spoke about the states in the West, intentional, right? So there can continuously be oppression and extraction from this continent, right? So I think for me, because I have that awareness, it hurts even deeper. Because I'm aware of the intentional, systemic-ish that has been set in place as a foundation to keep us othering each other. Right? And I'm not going to cry, but maybe I am going to cry. I'm going to let it come.
Okay. We're going to have some tissues.
Because
somewhere.
I think it speaks to the point that on this continent, you all really have no idea what we went through when we left on those ships. Because everything you see that we have now was not given to us. Oh, we had to fight. We lost our lives. It was years, hundreds of years of fighting for what you see us have right now. Because it wasn't given to us easy. So I think more so for me, when I hear that narrative, I think of the lack of information that was told to them about how we had to fight even to be alive right now, right? And vice versa. And which is why we come, or I speak for myself, I come so I can learn all the magical things about you all, right? That was not told to me, right? So for me, it's the lack of information. It pains me because it was intentional. It was intentional and successful, and it hurts me to my core. It hurts me to my core.
Yeah, it's very hurtful, and I think the way that I would describe it from my eye perspective is it's dizzying. What's dizzying about it is, of course, coming to the continent, and for the reasons in which I came, it was always for a soul search, always for a what is this new chapter bringing me about self, right? And that identity, politics of knowing who you are in the world, But I think when you kind of get an inkling, you have this breadcrumb, and it's just dropped, and it's right there, and you go, oh, I'm an African woman, let me pick that up. And then you pick it up, and you come to Africa, and you follow where it's taking you, and where it takes you to is deeper and darker and crazier than you had ever imagined, and you're a black woman and somebody calls you a white woman, and then you're like, do you see me? I'm a white woman. How? 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 And I think one of the things, I have even talked to a lot of people, especially on this term Obruni. I don't think that Obruni also has so many different meanings, right? So a person who's returned from the horizon, you're dear, white, foreign, all of those things, which, to be honest, I'm a foreigner, I understand. But at the same time, you're like, don't you see me? I'm black. Don't you notice that,
and I have a black experience.
I have a black experience. I am power to the people black. I'm not even just cute black. I'm not just cute black.
Cute black.
Yeah.